Welcome everyone. I'm so excited to have you and to have you learn our first lesson, which is going to be how to make your own sketchbook at home. And this is going to be really good. It's going to be something that we're going to be able to use in the weeks to come as we make our artwork at home. So if you don't know, I have a few of my sketchbooks here with us today in case you don't know what a sketchbook is. But basically it's just a little book that you can draw in, right? And it's good to practice and plan your artwork before you create your final artwork. So this is like a little book version, very small. I just do some doodles in that. This is a little bit bigger, has the fabric cover and a little string sewing it all together. This one's a little bit bigger and is well used and loved for many years by me, and it has that kind of spiral binding. So I'm going to show you some simple ways to make a sketchbook at home with materials you have at home. So they might turn out something like this. I'm going to give you three options. Okay, we got one here, and these two. And I'm giving you options for a couple reasons. One, based on what you have at home, right? We might not all have the same thing, so I'm going to give you a couple options for that. But then also some are a little more simple and some are a little more involved. So figure out what works for you based on what you can do, what you have, and I'm going to show you all three in this video so you can rewind, fast forward, pause, do what you need to do as you make your own sketchbook and follow along. So thanks for joining us. Let's get started. All right, so these are our three different versions of our sketchbooks that we're going to be learning today. I'm going to start with this one because it's the simplest in terms of the number of steps and the number of different supplies you need. So for this one, all you're going to need is paper, scissors, and some kind of string. I'm using this string. You can use yarn, you can use ribbon. It is up to you, whatever you have access to. So get your supplies first. That's step one. All right. Gather 5 sheets of paper. That's going to be good for our sketchbook today. So what you're going to do with your paper is we need to fold it in half. Now, if you take my classes, you know that we talk about hamburger folds and hot dog folds. So we're going to be folding these like hamburgers. That means that we are going across, almost like a book. Hot dog fold would be long and skinny, which we don't want. That's not going to be good for our sketchbook. So we're going to go with a hamburger fold. So go ahead and you're going to fold each paper. So remember, 5 sheets will be good. Again, these don't need to be perfect. Just do the best you can. If you kind of watch what I'm doing, I try and line up the corners and then I give it a little crease so it stays and then crease it down the rest of the way nice and tight because that's going to be good for our sketchbook, right? We want those creases to stay, okay? Something like that. I'm just kind of making a stack over there. Alrighty. Step 1 done. All right, pretty simple. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to put each of these pages inside the next one. So I got my 2 pieces right here. I open this one up, put this one inside, open that up, put this one inside until I have them all together. And this is just like a book, okay? Now, those are all together like this. All right, now comes your ribbon and your scissors. So this next step, you are going to want to take your ribbon so that it can loop all the way inside your book and out. So it kind of needs to be twice the size of this. This is what I do. So I line it up knowing that I have a little extra down here, maybe a little more, all right? And then I want to double this because I want it to run through the pages and back out. So you'll see what I mean in a minute. I'm going to double the length of my string. So all I did was I found how much I needed and then I just folded it back on itself so that I now have twice as much. All right, use my scissors and cut. And that's all I need to do with that stuff. Put that out of the way. All right, now I take my ribbon. I'm gonna open up my book to the middle. This is important. Make sure you open it up. You're not opening it up like this and this page is loose. You wanna open it all the way to the middle. Put my string in there, okay? Close it, chomp it down. Make sure my pages are lined up. Now I'm going to take, I'm kind of holding my pages down like this. I'm going to take my string, I'm going to tie a knot. Now, you maybe are still learning to tie, so you might need some help from someone else that's at your home, older sibling, someone who can help you tie, okay? You want this, it's kind of, you want it to be tight, but not so tight that you're bending your pages, okay? So something like that, and you're done, all right? That one's pretty simple. The reason, works like this, the reason that we are doing the string instead of just folding the pages and stapling, if we staple, we can't go back and add more pages later. We can't take out pages. It kind of limits our sketchbook. What's nice about this is that now that I have this string like this, if I finish my pages, I can add another page in here, and all of a sudden I have more pages to my book. If I need to, I can take a page out. Maybe something happened with that page and I'm not happy with it. I take it out, I line it back up, and it's good to go. Okay, so that is option 1. All right, so next we have option 2. Pretty similar to the last one, but a few differences in terms of steps and the things you're going to need. So similar to last time, sorry guys, you are gonna want 5 pieces of paper. You're gonna want scissors and some kind of string like last time. So far all the same, but this time you're gonna need a hole punch, either a single hole punch like this, or if you have like a 3-hole punch, that works too, and a pencil. Alrighty, so step 1, get what you need. Step 2 is gonna start the same as last one. You're gonna fold them in half. Now, we're folding them in half like a hamburger, just like last time, not like a hot dog, long and skinny. Again, it doesn't need to be perfect. I try and line up my corners and crease it down, okay? Alrighty. When I have all those done, the starts to get a little different. So now I need my hole punch. Again, you can use a single or one of those 3-hole punches. You are going to punch 2, or if you want 3 holes, I like 2 holes in the side. Make sure, this is important, that it's on the folded side, not on the side that opens up. So make sure it's on the folded side, okay? And you are going to, if you have one of those 3-hole punches, you can just put it in and put it at the bottom and punch it that way, and it might line up nicely for just the 2. Or sometimes you can move those little things around and pick where you want it to punch. For the single one, I want you to watch out. I don't want you to put it all the way in. If you do that, that hole is going to be way too far into our book, and we don't want that. So if you kind of watch, I'm not measuring or anything, I'm just kind of doing an about, something kind of like that, okay? Again, not measuring, just coming up here, doing something similar like that. All right, now what the important part is here though, is that you want it to be the same on every single one, okay? So that they all line up. So here's my little trick, my tip to you, okay? Take your pencil, put your next one that you need to punch out, make sure it's that folded side. You're gonna line up those 2 folded sides, okay? And then you're going to trace your circles where they are, and now you don't need to measure, you don't need to guess, it's all done there for you. And I can just line it up And it's easy peasy, okay? I'm going to take that same first one and do it again for each page. All right? Again, if you're doing the 3-hole punch and you have it set, you're not going to have to do this tracing method, but this is really helpful if you're doing the single hole punch. Okay, I'm making sure I have my paper going the right way each time. Got this folded edge over here. If you need to pause the video at any time, this is kind of a workout for your hands, so if it's taking you a little longer, by all means pause, work at your own pace. Alrighty, last one. That's why I only do 2 holes. It's too many hole punching. Okay, now this part's important too. So, a little different from last time. If you watch, I'm gonna stack all my pages up so that the holes line up. Notice that I did not put them inside each other. You still see the folded edge of each page, okay? That's gonna be important for this version of our sketchbook, okay? I'm kind of creasing that down a little more. So, make sure they're all lined up. They're all just stacked one on top of each other. They're not inside one another, okay? Now comes your ribbon part. So what you're going to do is you're going to thread this ribbon, you're going to tie it. So the length I kind of went with was twice my finger. Again, I'm not measuring, it's not exact, just something like that ended up being a good length. So cut that. I have 2 holes, so I'm going to need 2 pieces of ribbon, 1 for each hole. Again, you can use string, ribbon, yarn, whatever you have available at your home. All right, so I'm going to take this string, I'm going to thread it through, making sure I get every page, okay? Now this is another little tip and trick. If I were to just tie a knot just like this and tie it really nice and tight, that's great that you're able to tie a tight knot, but now these pages aren't going to turn very easily because this is so tight. So this is my trick to you. Take your pencil and you are going to put it kind of right over the edge of your paper there so that when you tie, you're tying around all your papers and your pencil. And what that's going to do, let me show you. All right, so I'm going to tie it nice and tight. Again, if you are someone still learning to tie knots, because I know that's not the easiest thing. 1, this is really good practice, so give it a try. And 2, if you're trying and it's just not working, see if there's someone at home who can help you out, okay? Alrighty. So, I made it nice and tight, but watch, this is the good part. Okay, so now that it's all tied tight, I'm going to slide my pencil out. And now I have a tight knot, but it's kind of a loose loop around my papers right there. Okay, I'm going to quick do it to the other one. All right, and what that's going to do, so I line my pencil up, is when I go to use this sketchbook and I'm turning through the pages, it's going to be a lot easier to turn those pages now that I have kind of that loose loop, okay? If you have any of those like binder rings, so they're those separate little metal rings at home, I don't have any of those in my home, but if you have those in your home and you just want to slide those through instead of doing this ribbon, by all means, go for it. That would be a really nice thing to have. Okay, so again, a nice little loose loop. So now I can go like this and flip through my pages really nicely. Again, just like last time, we're not using staples for the reason that I could always go, I could cut these off, I could untie them, I could take pages out, I could add pages in, which I'm not going to be able to do if I staple it. So these are really good alternatives to that staple that kind of makes your sketchbook a little more permanent. Okay, so this is option 2. You got one more. All right, this is our final option today for our sketchbook, option 3. All right, and this one is a really neat one that I just learned last week when I was looking these up for you guys, and I had to teach myself. So this one's pretty cool. It is a little more involved and a little trickier. So if you give it a try and it's not working out for you, don't worry. Just try your best, and if you need to, go and do one of the other ones, okay? So this one, all you need, you're gonna have those 5 papers again, and scissors, and a pencil, and that is it. Okay, so if you don't have string or yarn or anything like that at home, this is a great alternative, and it's just a really neat one. So even if you do have string, this might be the one you want to do anyway. So step 1, just like the other ones, we are going to fold all the papers in half. All right, like hamburgers, not long and skinny like hot dogs. All right, line up those corners, do the best you can. If it's not perfect, your sketchbook will still turn out okay, and you will still be able to draw on those pages, so don't worry. Okay, so folding all of them up, making sure it's a nice crease. Okay, so next step, pencil. All right, I am not using a ruler. I'm not doing anything fancy. All I'm going to do is I'm going to use my fingers as kind of a guide, okay? So I'm using 2 fingers. I'm going to line them up with the edge, and I'm going to draw a line at the other side of my 2 fingers, okay? So it's about that much into my sketchbook. Notice that this is the folded edge. This is important. It needs to be along the folded edge, not the open edge over here. So go to the other side, 2 fingers, draw the little line, make a little mark. That's going to be my guide for the next step. Okay, again, folded edge. So that's just on one. On the other pages, you're going to do this. You're going to open them up, and you're going to lay them inside each other. Okay, so you're stacking them on top. Okay, so that they line up. All right. So you see they're like this, with the little book all opened up. Okay, now I want to do the same 2 fingers, but notice now I'm on the inside fold, okay, along the middle. So I'm doing 2 fingers, making a mark, 2 fingers over here, making a mark, okay? I didn't need to measure, but I got it all lined up exactly how it needs to go. Now, with the 4 pages here, I am going to cut them all together. If you don't want to do that, maybe that's hard, you do not have to. You can go and you can make this mark on every single paper and then cut the papers all individually. I'm just going to save a little bit of time and cut them all together. So I'm holding them all together, making sure they're lined up. And I'm going to cut along this fold, going towards that mark I made. I'm going to go to that mark, and I'm going to go just a little past. That's just going to be helpful in the next steps, okay? I come over to this side, I do the same thing, folding or cutting on that fold, past that mark just a little bit, and I can set those aside. Those are done. Now this one I'm going to cut a little differently. I'm going to cut in on those little marks that I just made, like that. So now I have those cut, but watch. I'm going to go inside here and I'm going to cut down the length of my fold. Okay, this fold is now cut off. So now I have kind of this notch cut out. If I open it up, it looks something like that. Okay, now this is the really neat part. I put my scissors and my pencil away. This part is practically magic, everyone. Okay, you ready? So I am going to take these 4 pages and I'm going to roll them up like this. Okay, so just roll them up the best you can. Doesn't need to be perfect, just something like this. You see that? Okay, I am opening up. I'm going to try and do this slowly so you guys can see. I'm opening up this notched one. I am sliding these pages in through that notch. Okay, can you see? It's going through. Okay, what I'm going to do, maybe that's a better way to show, like that. Okay, what I'm going to do is that line that I cut is going to slide up in here, and if you notice, this has started to unravel. That's fine. I'm going to let it, and it fits down on the end of this one. Look what just happened. We have this little book that's all together like a book, and we didn't use anything. We didn't use staples, yarn. It is together as a book. Okay, and what's nice about this one, just like the other ones, I'm going to crease it a little bit, how we don't want to use staples, what's nice about this is if I want to take a page out, I can. Okay, if I want to put more pages in, I can. I just need to make sure that I cut that little bit off the, or that little line at the bottom and top, and then I slide it, I roll it up and slide it in just like I did the other ones. I just think this one's really cool. I've never seen anything like it before. So this is option 3.